It takes 3 minutes. That's how long it takes for the inside of a mobile home to become engulfed in flames. Within 10 minutes, the roof will cave in. Everything is flammable, except the aluminum framing, but even that will eventually melt. For landlords, it's hard to keep fire out of your rentals, and harder still if a violent ex-felon is dating one of your tenants. Today, gasoline meets vengeance in a story we call the mobile home arson. It didn't take long for Logan Moffett to find real estate. Within a year of graduating BYU, he was already an agent. His goal back then was to buy 10 doors. He'd wait for them to be paid off, and he'd live like a king out there. Now, today's story is not about how he blew past those 10 properties and built a 150-plus door portfolio. We're not Bigger Pockets. No, today our story begins with his first mobile home park. Out west, housing in rural communities is constricted. Forget affordability. Just finding a place to live is not easy with distances being so vast. Many people opt for mobile homes, and for good reason. They're affordable and they're close to where you work. The stigma of living in a mobile home park just isn't as strong as it is back east. From a landlord perspective, mobile homes have several advantages. In many instances, tenants will purchase the home under a lease option, renting the home, maintaining it, and eventually purchasing the home outright, all while renting the land the mobile home sits on top of. So landlords get all the benefits while minimizing the responsibility for the upkeep of the actual structure. This story starts in 2016, before real estate gurus realized that they could sell courses on how to slumlord a mobile home park virtually. So when Logan received an offer from a wholesaler for a mobile home park with 15 spaces with a $300,000 price tag, he didn't really know what to make of it. 2 buyers had already backed out, so things were down to the wire for the wholesaler. But here's the thing, the deal penciled. Not only did it pencil, it looked too good to be true. Seeing he had some leverage, Logan offered $230,000 and asked that a 3-acre plot of land down the road would be thrown in for good measure. Amazingly, he got the deal. Before he knew it, Logan was the proud owner of a mobile home park with 15 spaces. Now, 4 of which were vacant, but still, that's not half bad. And he didn't have to worry about the local economy. A brand new prison was being built 2 minutes down the road. Prisons are a double-edged sword. The Utah State Correctional Facility in Gunnison employs hundreds of people. Jobs that will not be going anywhere. The flip side is that newly released convicts that have nowhere else to go will just hang out in the vicinity of the prison. I mean, Utah is beautiful, but just go to Florida like everybody else. Now, the local town did have a law on the books saying that you couldn't rent to ex-felons. But the thing is, love does weird things to people. She chose the lease option. After doing his research, Logan decided that this was the way to go. She would rent and eventually own that mobile home outright. By this point, it's 2018, Logan is hitting his stride, and he's actually looking to buy more mobile home parks in Utah. But what Logan didn't fully appreciate is that this new tenant had a boyfriend with a complicated past. He spent years in prison on a violent crime, and we're keeping things a little bit obscure here on purpose. But let's just say this guy was no Ryan Gosling. Eventually, she stopped paying. It sucks, but this happens. Logan has had experience with this sort of thing countless times, and he was patient with her. For months, he tried working something out, a payment plan, he'd pay utilities. He genuinely wanted her to complete the terms of this lease option. But at a certain point, it just wasn't going to happen. She wasn't answering his calls, wasn't coming to the door. Logan really didn't have any other option but to file for an eviction. We will never know where the gasoline came from. Was the boyfriend filling his truck and got the idea there? Was the gasoline outside the house? I like to think that he siphoned it from his neighbors. What we do know is that the gasoline found itself on the floor, on the walls, on fire. Fire ripped through the home, gutting the house. I couldn't find the exact amount of time that it takes for a double wide to burn when an accelerant is used. But let's just say it's pretty fucking quick, especially when the fire finds the gas line. The fire chief was pretty amazed by the sight. Like a bonfire from hell. This mess was pretty clean cut from a law enforcement point of view. Maybe so clean cut that they forgot the whole arresting the guy part. Logan still thinks about him. If getting away sets some precedent, that an eviction notice allows you to burn the house down. One of the benefits of mobile homes that I forgot to mention is that the residents are pretty handy. After all the local handymen in that area that are usually living in your park. One of them approached Logan and offered a trade. He would haul off the debris in exchange for a deposit on a mobile home of his own. I guess this part was pretty clean cut, so at least there's that. I've been thinking about the moral of this story, and I think it's that so often we get wrapped up in the spreadsheets of this business. Moving numbers from one column to the other, we forget that behind every number is somebody. Someone living their life in a home, depending on us to ensure it's safe and comfortable. Someone raising a family. Someone living their life. Someone who wants to burn our shit. It's pretty cool that you stayed this long. Maybe you love a good story, maybe you're a landlord, maybe you're both. Either way, if you subscribe and like this video, you won't have any turnover in the next 12 months guaranteed. You can check out the original podcast. Logan and I went back and forth on some Q&A. I'll have the link below. But before you go, you should leave your worst landlord horror story in the comments.